know that friend who always cancels plans? The one who says maybe next time, the one who's suddenly tired again or busy again. At some point, people start joking about them, saying they never come out anymore. But what if that friend isn't avoiding people at all? What if they're actually protecting something important? If you're someone who feels more excited about a quiet Friday night at home than a loud night out, then this video might explain more about you than you think. Today we're talking about the psychology of people who love staying at home. The kind of people society sometimes calls boring or antisocial. But psychology actually sees very differently. One of the biggest reasons some people love staying home comes down to energy. Extroverts recharge by being around people. They gain energy from conversations, movement, noise, and social activity. But introverts and people who naturally prefer solitude experience the opposite effect. Every social interaction slowly drains their mental battery. Even a fun party or a good conversation can become exhausting after a while. It doesn't mean they dislike people. It simply means their brain processes stimulation differently. After enough noise and activity, their mind starts craving silence, and home becomes the one place where their energy can recharge properly. Psychologists explain this using something called optimal arousal theory. The idea is that every person has a different level of stimulation that feels comfortable. Some people feel alive in busy places filled with activity and conversation, while others feel overwhelmed in those same environments. For them, calm spaces feel better for their nervous system. So when someone chooses to stay home instead of going out, it isn't always laziness or fear. Sometimes it's simply their brain protecting its balance. But there's another psychological reason that's just as powerful. Control. Outside your home, the world is unpredictable. You deal with loud strangers, unexpected changes, awkward conversations, and environments you can't control. But inside your home, everything changes. You control the lighting, the sounds, the atmosphere, and the pace of your day. For people who are highly sensitive or easily overstimulated, this sense of control creates deep comfort. Home becomes the only place where their mind can fully relax without constantly reacting to the outside world. Before we go deeper, if this video is already describing you a little too accurately, take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel grow, and it tells YouTube to show more psychology content like this to people who might need to hear it. Now here's something interesting that most people don't realize. Studies show that people who enjoy solitude often score higher in creativity, introspection, and problem-solving ability. When you're alone, your brain finally gets space to think. Most people fill every quiet moment with distractions: music, scrolling, conversations, notifications. But people who enjoy being alone spend more time reflecting and exploring ideas. Some of the best insights don't appear in crowded rooms. They appear late at night in quiet places, during slow mornings, or in those random moments when your mind starts wandering and connecting ideas in ways it normally can't. But our culture often sends the opposite message. Social media constantly shows people traveling, partying, hanging out, and living exciting lives. Slowly it creates the idea that if you're staying home, you must be missing out on something. But happiness doesn't look the same for everyone. For some people, happiness really is a crowded room full of energy and conversation. But for others, happiness looks much quieter. A comfortable couch, a favorite show, a peaceful evening, and zero pressure to perform socially. That's not boring. That's simply self-awareness. Of course, there is another side to this. Sometimes staying home isn't about preference at all. Sometimes it comes from social anxiety, past experiences, or even depression that slowly convinces someone that leaving the house isn't worth the effort. In those situations, home can become both a refuge and a cage. That's why the real question isn't just whether you like staying home. The real question is why. Do you stay home because it makes you feel calm and recharged, or because the outside world feels too heavy to deal with? Because one is peace, and the other is hiding. But for people who genuinely love staying home, life isn't empty or boring at all. They simply notice different things: the quiet ritual of morning coffee, the comfort of a familiar space, the way sunlight fills a room in the evening, small moments that most people rush past without noticing. Psychologists sometimes describe this as a low stimulation preference. These people don't need constant excitement from the outside world because their inner world is already rich enough. So if you're someone who often turns down invitations without feeling guilty, someone who enjoys spending time alone without feeling lonely, someone who actually feels happy during a quiet Saturday night at home, then there's nothing wrong with you. You're not antisocial, you're not boring, and you're definitely not missing out on life. You're simply wired for depth over noise and peace over chaos. Now I'm curious, do you actually prefer staying at home, or do you think people who stay home are just making excuses? Let me know what you think. And if this video made you understand yourself a little better, the next psychology video might reveal something even deeper about how your mind works. Would you like me to